heat advisory, and we still can't rule out a severe storm or two, especially for our southern zones toward Highlands County, DeSoto, and Hardy counties. Now we take a look at the latest. This is what we all are wondering, right? Well, here's the deal. It's a slower moving system, okay? Patience. This is a marathon. Okay, this is not a sprint by any means, and today we can finish those preparations. But let's take a look at this. So meteorologically, the changes we've seen overnight as you were sleeping, the first thing is we're officially in a tropical storm warning. Yes, we could still see maybe a Category 1 hurricane as it makes a move towards Steinhatchee by Monday morning with that landfall with 70-mile-per-hour winds right now, the forecast. So really, I wouldn't focus as much on the wind as the water, okay? And keep in mind, the water is way more powerful than the wind, as we all know here in the Tampa Bay area. But with 35-mile-per-hour winds, of course, you need 39-mile-per-hour sustained winds for an official tropical storm. And I do think this afternoon we will have an upgrade in the system. If not this afternoon, it would be this evening, and it would be called Tropical Storm Debby. Okay, so just keep that in mind. We take a look at its northward jog, and that's going to be the difference maker. Once it goes over those very warm, unusually warm waters, it'll have a lot of energy feeding toward its center. So notice winds up to 45 miles per hour as we wake up on Sunday morning. And the changes, this storm system, yeah, it's still going to be about 90 miles to our west, but really not moving by Tampa Bay until Sunday evening now, the center of the system, with 60-mile-per-hour sustained wind. And then it'll start to make that slow movement to the north. So that's the key here. Because it's a slower developing system, slower movement, it'll allow an area of high pressure to develop and build to the north of this system and stall it out, unfortunately, across areas of North Florida, South Georgia, and the Carolinas as we head into next week. So this will be a major story for days to come. And here at home, our big 2 days would be Sunday and Monday. So we're going to continue to watch it carefully. So here's our weather impact alert. Very important today. Yes, we're thinking about water. We have our supplies. We're thinking about the flood-prone areas that are typically flood during big storms, even those winter storms like we saw this past winter, making sure we have the sandbags taken care of. Okay, making sure if we are in a flood-prone area, we have a safe place to go. So things like that. And as we take a look at tomorrow, Sunday morning through Monday morning, that's my 24-hour impact zone for the biggest impacts. And what I'm looking for, even though you see winds of 40 to 50 miles per hour, maybe some higher gusts, we can't rule out some isolated severe weather, maybe some power outages across the area. But really the big two would be the rain, 6 to 10 inches plus of rain. There could be some locally heavier amounts, especially along the coast as the system slows down. Surge of 2 to 4 feet. And I know the 5-foot threshold is a big deal here. That's when we start to think in terms of evacuations. Right now, not looking for 5 feet. This could still change, but right now, keeping it at 2 to 4 feet. And as we know here in Tampa Bay, a surge of 2 to 4 feet does cause a lot of flooding. And then we will need to finish those preps today and keep checking back for updates. And our weather team is here for you before, during, and after the storm. Where is it now? Well, we talked about that circulation still over land this morning, and it's still over Cuba. Okay, western Cuba here, but notice it's starting to make a move to the north. So you see the west-northwest movement at 15, and if that continues and then steers to the north, it will be over water as we head into this afternoon, and that's when it'll become even better organized. You see the banding we're already starting to see. And if you look at the satellite picture, some outflow as well. So these things are stacked like chimneys as they're trying to really develop. They need they need that outflow. They need to breathe, so to speak. So you can see we're starting to see that outflow, which does indicate meteorologically this will not just be a tropical depression, but at least a tropical storm, if not a Category 1 hurricane as we head into Sunday night into Monday. Right now, 351 miles from Tampa, okay, in Hillsborough County. So again, we've got a long way to go with this system. You can see some banding of the rain. The band's really over Miami and moving up into our area today, not associated, so to speak, with this tropical system. It's more of the converging winds out ahead of it. But notice the main bands with the system already coming into the Keys. So really the big severe threat today would be South Florida, the tip of Florida. But again, we're going to have to keep an eye just in case on a couple of strong storms for our area. Now we look at Tropical Depression 4. Here's the very latest model that we look at that usually does pretty good during tropical systems. And yeah, it's more in line with the National Hurricane Center. You can see we go into Sunday morning at 11 a.m. and I'm expecting things to quickly go downhill by then. So if you have places to go, need to go to a safer spot, get that done today, tonight, and very first thing tomorrow morning, because by the time we head into late Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, the first squalls with this system will really develop. feeding toward the center of the storm. And notice that squally weather. Once it moves in, we're going to have one after another. It's just a training effect, and unfortunately, flooding will become a big problem by Sunday afternoon into Sunday evening. Sunday at 8 o'clock, still watching the system just to the west of Tampa by about 90 miles and gaining a little bit more strength. So this could be a strong tropical storm or maybe even a Category 1 as it moves towards Steinhatchee. And notice that landfall now not until very late Sunday night and really as we're waking up on Monday morning. And then it just kind of slowly wobbles across North Florida in the I-10 corridor. So as far as flooding, what this is showing us, it's the water. It's the flooding as the big threat, okay? Just bands and bands of rain. We're not talking just a few hours of rain. We're talking 10, 12 or more hours of rain. So just keep that in mind. And notice all of the major interstates could be impacted. I-75, I-4, I-95, I-10. So this is a storm for all of us. We're not just focusing it on the cone by any means. We take a look again, Tropical Depression 4 moving across South Florida. South Georgia, it could weaken into maybe a depression, but it could still hold together as a tropical storm. Just keep that in mind, even as we head through Monday into the first part of Tuesday, and then it continues just to wobble up towards Savannah. And again, we're still seeing some bands of rain, but here in Tampa, Hillsborough, Pasco, Pinellas County, we will start to see some improving conditions, especially by Monday afternoon. As we look at the watches and warnings, officially there's a tropical storm warning. No surprise for us here, especially all of our coastal counties where you see the yellow. That's tropical storm watches. So that means some tropical storm force conditions will be expected as we head into, especially on Sunday. Storm surge. Okay, so overall, right now we've kept it in the 2 to 4 foot range. But again, we're going to keep a close eye on this. And as we look to the north, there could be higher surges as you go just to the north of Crystal River, or right near the Citrus County and the Nature Coast. So we'll keep an eye on that. But for now, 2 to 4 feet for all of us. Forecast rainfall, this is what it's all about. Yes, where you see the yellows and the oranges, that's where we could have some extensive flooding out there. Okay, and that does include our rivers. And again, we're watching that surge of 2 to 4 feet along the bay and the coastal waters. So let's put the forecast all together for you. Our updated 12-hour, and this updates every hour here. So no surprise, we showed you a few bands that could come into our area. We'll need them. We need to cool down. There's a heat advisory from noon to 6. So notice by 2 o'clock, we'll see some of that rain. It's not going to last long. Okay, that's the good news. And we can get back out and do some of those preps by late afternoon into this evening, which looks quiet with temperatures right around 80. The winds will pick up a bit. You'll notice the breeze picking up east 10 to 20 miles per hour out ahead of the storm. Overnight tonight, a bit breezy. But again, tomorrow it'll be windy at times. Notice those south-southeast winds 25. Could see maybe some gusts in areas 45, 50 miles per hour. But again, really keeping it below that severe wind threshold. But again, with some of these thunderstorms tomorrow for our Sunday, they could include some isolated severe weather. You can't ever rule out isolated tornadoes in these type of events, as these tropical systems have a lot of spin with them. So notice as we head through Sunday, it will rain, it'll be windy, and flooding becomes a problem, especially in the afternoon. 7-day forecast updated. Yeah, a lot of red, unfortunately, on that map with that tropical system. Today, watching a couple strong bands for our Saturday afternoon with that weather impact alert along with the heat. But again, the main alert and impact coming in on Sunday into the first part of Monday as we have a 100% chance now of rain. Notice temperatures a little cooler with the rain, mid to upper 80s, and then the slowly improving conditions as our storm pulls away, especially Monday afternoon into Tuesday and Wednesday. Of course, keep checking back, and we will keep you updated.